Unfortunately, there is a very scary and rather dangerous rise in male loneliness going on, and it's getting worse by the day. I've experienced male loneliness myself, and it's extremely unpleasant, and I've experienced it several times in my life. It may be quite a new phenomenon for people, or it may be something that's been going on for decades. Back in high school, and especially maybe college as well, at least there was the comfort of being around people. Maybe not the best people, maybe unpleasant people, maybe people you hated, but you weren't totally alone. You were forced to go to school, forced to complete college and so on. Then you went out into the working world, and maybe you were working around people. But the culture of work has changed, life has changed, and the older you get, you move out of home, etc., the more alone you become. You tried dating, you tried having friends, or maybe you never had friends whatsoever. But this was rare back in the day, and now it's actually very common. It's common for men to feel alone. It's common for some women to even feel alone as well. But let's focus on men here. For the following reasons, there is a scary rise in male loneliness, and it's getting worse. And that is because friendship itself, and the idea of friendship with men, is dying. How many men have realistically best friends nowadays? In fact, how many men have friendships nowadays? It seems all too transactional, too taxing, and quite draining to have a friend nowadays, especially another guy. Are they going to be on the same page? Do they share much in common? Are they going to respect boundaries? Are they going to actually elevate and improve their lives both ways? Most likely not. But without that transaction, without one being a people pleaser and the other being a taker, without actually doing any work on themselves or growing up and maturing, the friendship is not worth it. So with the friendship dying, there is no one to socialize with a man. And I recently did a video that men don't want to socialize anymore because what is the point of socializing in today's society? And also, balancing his work amongst everything else is all too taxing. But a dangerous mistake that men make is actually prioritizing work over relationships. I hear it and see it all the time, especially from single, lonely men who are desperate for a girlfriend. They say, work's been crazy. I haven't got a minute to myself. I haven't got time to date or have a relationship. My business has consumed me so much at the moment. I'm so stressed. Who's got time to date? Well, millionaires do. Billionaires do. People still do it who are running big corporations. People do it that's running startups because they realize that there's a work-life balance. But unfortunately, these lonely men are not balancing their life and work at all. They're prioritizing their work, killing themselves in the process, and neglecting the one thing they desperately want and need. But above all else, thanks to the legacy media, thanks to the internet and social media as well, we celebrate the rise of individualism. Yes, men going their own way. The red pill. You don't need a woman. And women are being told the same thing. Be a boss bitch. Focus on your career. You go, girl. You don't need no man. Do you not see what's going on here? It's dividing men and women. It's celebrating that loneliness. Of course, there are so many different circumstances and scenarios. A man, God forbid, could become a widow and lose his wife, and therefore he wants to be alone. That's different. Wanting to be alone and celebrating that, and loneliness is different. Let's focus on loneliness here. The rise of individualism as an excuse to combat your loneliness doesn't seem to work, because if you just want to be alone, that's different. But if you are lonely and desperate for the touch, the connection and love and the affection and the relationship of a woman or even a friendship, that's a whole different ballgame. It's propaganda. It's nonsense. It's designed to keep you so sad, so lonely and so desperate. At one stage, a couple of years back, I said to myself, oh, I don't need no woman. I don't need this. I could just be alone and enjoy myself and be a bachelor and be selfish. But that's not me. That's not my personality. That's not my character. It's not even my culture. That doesn't suit me whatsoever. And it most likely doesn't suit you or many other men who are going through this loneliness epidemic, and why it's getting worse because they're being gaslighted and manipulated to believe it's okay and it's actually really cool, when for them and based on their character and their personality, it doesn't suit them whatsoever. Just quickly before we continue, if you'd like to speak to me on a one-on-one basis on a private consultation coaching call, please check out the link in the description below and the pinned comment where we can talk for up to 60 minutes, or maybe even longer if you'd like, and hopefully we can connect and help you with the issues you're going through. Now, if you look at the modern world, there are fewer community spaces. Back in the day, there was your local pub, your local bar, and these places still exist, or maybe a community centre where you used to play sports, or the gym. Now people clock in the gym and they clock out, listen to their headphones, not talking or interacting to anyone. If you play sports, it's at a minimum. When's the last time you've been to a bar or a pub? Well, most men aren't socialising that much anymore, especially these sort of men who are single and alone and feeling lonely. So where is there somewhere to go? I'll tell you a story. A couple of years ago, I moved to a brand new area, dream apartment, was so happy. And I said to myself, well, I love watching football, soccer, and I'm going to go to my local bar down the road and I'm going to watch all the games there and I'm going to talk to the locals and it's going to be like my little space to go to. Well, I went there once and the TV wasn't working and it was half dead as well. And then 6 months later, it closed down. That sort of community centre, I used to go out and watch football all the time in my 20s, years ago. It was different. There was a bit of a crowd. It was exciting. But that's dying now. So if there's fewer places to go, where are you going to stay? At home, alone. And now I couldn't think of anything better than watching sport in the comfort of my own home. You see, digital relationships now are prioritised over real ones. And that's what really grinds my gears, because as much as we can talk and connect through our screens and through our smartphones, tablets, whatever, it's just not the same as a real connection. Having a cyber relationship, having a cyber friendship, having these whole interactions with people is just never, ever going to trump sitting opposite someone, looking into their eyes and laughing or connecting on a deep subject and opening up and being vulnerable. Having these digital relationships do help. It comforts you. It's great. It connects us from all over the world. You wouldn't be watching this message if you weren't, thanks to the digital age and the internet, etc. But if I sat opposite you and I really connected with you and you open up to me, that bond, that friendship, that connection is what makes humankind and mankind such an incredible thing. And that's rare nowadays. But we are prioritizing the digital relationships over any real ones. But obviously, you're not single and alone and not having a girlfriend or a partner because you want to. It's because you face huge dating challenges, and men are really struggling with this. They're told to do the same thing. Just create a dating profile online. Just slide into DMs. Just ask a girl out in a bar. When does a man go to a bar nowadays, or a club? And don't ask women out in a club, please. But they're doing all of that, and what happens? They're not getting the matches. They're paying through the nose for dating apps that are designed to keep them single nowadays. None of these apps work anymore. They're not connecting women with men, or the right women with men. And therefore, if he does get a match, if he does get a connection, she's most likely a catfish, a scammer, a liar, or completely toxic and crazy. So therefore, he's back to the drawing board, paying more, paying monthly, and the cycle continues. He's the hamster running on the wheel. It's not working. And he gets rejected for absurd, superficial, really disgusting reasons, when actually he's got a lot to offer. He's got a lot of love to give. He's been deprived for so long. But women deem him as desperate. Women deem him as needy. Women say, nah, sorry, mate, you're not good enough for me. When she could last 5 minutes in his shoes with the loneliness, despair, and misery that he has had to endure. His mental health has been neglected. And that's why there's a shocking, scary rise in male loneliness. It's so common now that a man is just neglected for feeling sad, feeling depressed, for opening up, or even crying. He's seen as weak and absurd, when actually he's hurting. He's hurting because he's just not being nurtured. He just wants to be held. I went a year without human contact. And trust me, that first hug that I had from a family member, that first interaction of having a hug, being held, I can't describe to you what it meant to me. Sometimes men and people just need a hug. Without even a hug, what do you think that does to the mental health of that person? Then also there's generational changes. The way our grandparents and our parents and these other people socialized and, lived their lives is different to Gen Z and the millennials and all that crap. They don't socialize. They don't talk. They don't interact. They're too woke. They're too sensitive. They're too this. They're too that. Or they can't make eye contact. Or they have to text. Go to a local restaurant and you'll see children or even teenagers or even adults consumed by their mobile phones with headphones in and tablets on the table rather than having conversations. How are we supposed to connect when we feel lonely, when we've got technology in front of us? This generation doesn't make sense. And I can't relate to this generation. A lot of people can't as well. And that's why male loneliness is on the meteoric rise. But if you can take comfort in anything, and this is not all doom and gloom, is that in the comment section, and the amount of views this video gets will show you that men are not alone. Yes, it's digital. Yes, there are digital comments and everything like that. But there are other men in your shoes. There are other men going through this. And I always believe it's a process. I can't guarantee you how long this process takes. It can take an extremely long time and it's painful. But the man you come out of it with and will be, with the growth and with the healing and the recovery and the self-awareness to recognize how you got yourself in this position, whether it was your fault or not, and how you can either be comfortable being alone and embracing being alone and designing a life to suit you, or fighting your demons, leveling up and recognizing where you're going wrong, how you're going wrong, being brave enough to hold the mirror up to your face and say, okay, I need to work on X, Y, and Z. Then I will judge if I'm still alone by the end of that year or the end of that month or whatever. That's how you do it. Loneliness can be built and can be defeated. But at the same time, it's up to you which path you want to take. There's no right or wrong. It's your journey. It's your life. Would you rather be alone and be content being alone? Or would you rather defeat loneliness and create healthy bonds and relationships with the right people in the right way whilst leveling up in the process? Don't wave the white flag just yet, but recognize and realize that your destiny is in your hands. Yes, you've been dealt bad cards. Yes, it's not fair. Yes, it sucks. But it's up to you now which path and which journey you take. And as someone who's literally dug themselves out of the hole of loneliness and despair, no contact, no nothing, no interaction, no relationships, nothing. For me, because that was my goal, my dream, it's so much better on the other side. And I have to pinch myself how I did it. And if I can do it, maybe you can too. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you haven't already. Like I said already, please consider booking a one-on-one private consultation coaching call with me, SCG. Check out the link in the description and the pinned comment. Lastly, please do me a favor, share this video with someone who you think would really gain value from the message that's in it. Yes, there is a shocking, scary rise in male loneliness, but maybe step by step, slowly but surely, we can actually combat this loneliness and men can be more content, either if they decide to stay alone or in the opposite direction, more strategic, more proactive choices to their benefit. Good luck and thanks for watching.